So hobby, what is the spelling of a hobby? H-O-B-B-Y, hobby. So usually it is a common practice for the people whenever they are filling their resume. So in the resume, invariably they mention hobbies. Is it really needed or not? That's a different thing. When we come to resume building, the topic we will discuss. So the hobbies, plural form is hobby. Hobby means actually there is no connection between hobby and the habit, H-A-B-I-T. So H-O-B-B-Y, hobby, what does it mean? Hobby is something which we do for recreation. So whenever we have free time, whenever we have to spend time in a leisurely way without any purpose. So for example, singing, a person may be an expert or not. He gets recharged by taking up the hobby of singing. So different people have got different hobbies like gardening, singing, writing articles. Few writers, they write, and singers, they sing, and the people gardening, painting, various hobbies are there. So these hobbies are more or less like they give pleasure to that particular individual. And by taking up that particular hobby, a person gets recharged. So in an interview, especially, it's a common practice. The interviewers ask, may I know your hobbies, please? So whenever this kind of question is asked, so people simply list out a few hobbies. Sir, singing, writing, watching movies, and listening to music. Fine. So is this the right answer? Technically speaking, fine. This is an average answer, I can say. It's not a bad answer. It's an average answer. So especially whenever this question, hobbies, is to be faced in an interview atmosphere, in an interview scenario, you need to mention this hobby is going to do what to you? In what way you are going to benefit it? Your outlook, your way of looking at this particular hobby, if you can mention, you are the winner. The average person lists out all the hobbies. There's hobby 1, hobby 2, hobby 3, hobby 4, and blah, blah, blah. So that is an average person's approach. So a super candidate like you, a super candidate, a winner, a person with a winning attitude, he should present in what way it is going to give him the benefit. So let me give a hint, shall I? Do you need it? Shall I? So a hobby, whenever this kind of question is asked in an interview, so I know that all of you are growing in life, in your career. So in case you go for a promotional interview, when you are going to take up the next interview for your next promotion, now I strongly suggest you give this answer in this way. So thank you, sir, for asking me this question. Well, when it comes to my hobbies, I love singing. I love these hobbies can change as per your choice. You can put that now as an example I'm giving you. I love singing. I love reading books. I love listening to music, and I go on long drives. Now that is a answer where usually ordinary people stop. Now a super candidate like you, he continues further. So you have given the list of the hobbies. Now you are continuing. Well, whenever I get free time and whenever any important project gets completed, whenever the targets get accomplished, I go for my hobby. In fact, my hobby gives me energy. My hobby gives me recharging so that I am ready for the next project. You see how nicely it is presented. Now, again, I give you these steps. So thank you for asking me this question. It's a nice question. Well, when it comes to my hobbies are listening to music, singing songs, reading books, and going on long drives. Well, whenever the task is accomplished, whenever the targets are achieved, I will be on cloud 9. At that time, I go for my hobby. I pursue my hobby. My hobby gives me new energy. My hobby charges me so that I am ready for the next project. So it is a very subtle way of answering. Through this, what exactly happens is that the listener, in this scenario, the interviewer, interviewer is going to form a kind of a fantastic impression about you. Wow, what a candidate. So here, hobby is most of the times they consider, most of the people, they consider hobby as a waste of time. No purpose. Through this, no purpose. In fact, some people even feel that a hobby is waste of time as well as waste of money also. So to pursue a particular hobby, for example, singing is a hobby. So are you getting my voice, my dear friends? So some people are saying that audio is not there. Yeah, you can type in the chat box. Are you getting my voice? Am I audible? Yes, thank you. 𝗙𝗏𝗘𝗘 𝗠𝗔𝗦𝗧𝗘𝗥𝗖𝗟𝗔𝗦𝗍𝗏 Malati. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So a hobby is one thing which is not a waste of time. It's not a waste of money. In fact, it has got a specific purpose. It recharges you. So that is a kind of outlook. Once you develop, then your life is going to fill with energy. So this is a way you need to have an outlook. Now, in this way, you can categorize good hobbies and bad hobbies. So in previous days, there used to be test matches, 5 days test match. So especially if a candidate says that, sir, watching cricket is one of my hobbies, that too a test match. So then the interviewer can think, oh, this person is using his time in a non-productive way. So a hobby can decide, even though it's a subtle question. May I know your hobbies? Even though it appears to be a question without any harm, but it is a potential question. It has got potential information about your outlook towards the time. Time is money. Time is more than money. How do you spend your time? How do you spend your leisurely time? That is the main concept over here. That's the reason whenever you are mentioning, even not necessarily in an interview concept, even when you are thinking within your mind, when you are interacting with your friends, when you are talking to the people, always have this particular consciousness. A person who spends time in a meaningful way, he is going to be the most successful person. So that way your hobbies are showing your outlook. Your hobby is showing your outlook towards your hobby. It shows your outlook towards the time. So are you giving value to the time? Are you making use of the time in a productive way? So that is a kind of potential information that you are, without your knowledge, you are revealing. So actually, let me tell you one golden principle for you hereafter. When you are speaking, when you are speaking, you are showing off your knowledge. So I put it in a different way. When you are answering, you are giving the knowledge or information, whatever you have. That's it. Whatever knowledge you have, that you are showing, that you are exhibiting, that you are letting other person know. Whereas when you are questioning and when you are listening, you are getting more and more information about other person. So in communication, this is a golden principle, I can say. So be a good listener. Till yesterday, we were talking about the difference between hearing, listening. Now, in this particular category, I am adding this particular principle. Be a good listener. By listening, you can enhance your knowledge. You can upgrade your information. Data, you can upgrade. So even when you are interacting with anyone, even a small kid also, you can get good amount of information. So from everyone and through every source, we can learn. So the good principle we need to follow is develop the habit of listening. Develop the habit of listening. Be a good listener and develop this particular habit. Now, what am I using the word? Habit. So till now, I use the word hobby. Now I am talking about habit. HABIT. So hobby is something which we do without any compulsion, without any pressure, on our own during the free time we do. But a hobby has got so many benefits. A hobby has got so many benefits. Now let me come to habit. 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 So habit is what? Without our knowledge. Habit is something which we do without our knowledge. So some people, after, it's a bad habit I'm talking about. after taking the food, they feel like having smoke. So that's a habit that they don't know that it desire it has come in them. They feel like taking up a cigarette. So in the same way, some people have the habit of how to say habits. So many different habits are there. So a habit is something which is being happening automatically. Speaking English is also one of the habits. So it becomes automatic. So speaking good English, flawless English, continuous English, confidently speaking, all these are habits only. So a habit is one thing, only one word I can put so that the entire information you can get through this. Habit means automatic, automatic, without your knowledge. It is being done. So you feel like doing it. So you get surprised. Some people say that, for example, there are people, they use in between their conversation, they say, you know, like that in their sentence, everywhere they use, So we don't say that, I know, so what? We don't, so we simply we listen. So here, this particular terminology, what is it actually? It has become a habit to that person. He's using it. So like that, there are several habits which a person feels like he does it. He feels like doing it and he does it and he's unaware of it. It's happening automatically. So it has become habitual action. So routine, regular, habitual action. Now let me give you much more clarity. I believe all of you are good at riding a two-wheeler, a bike. Now, initial stages of learning, you are conscious. You are consciously learning it. Now, you have become, you are riding that bike automatically. It has become automatic. So at the red signal, without your knowledge, you are stopping. And again, the green signal appears. Again, you are raising the accelerator and you are taking it forward. But in your mind, you are thinking something. You are not focusing on the driving. Oh, now I have to raise the accelerator. Now I have to press the clutch. Now I need to change the gear. This way you are not doing. So it has become a habit. A habit is something which your subconscious mind got conditioned. It became a habit. So habit is the ultimate stage. So one has to acquire a good habit. So because again here two terms I need to tell you. A good habit and a bad habit. A while ago, I told you that smoking cigarette is a bad habit. It is injurious to health. It spoils your lungs, and over a period of time, it is going to affect your health in a bad way. So it reduces your longevity. So many impacts are there of a habit, of a bad habit, especially. Same is the case with a good habit also. A habit is something which has got the potential to become automatic and it is going to decide and dictate your lifestyle. So a good habit and bad habit. Now about habit, let me tell you an interesting fact. See the spelling HABIT, habit. Now you will remove that H. Still a bit is remaining. Now take away that A. Still that bit is there. Now take away B also. It is still there. So a habit has become automatic and it has come to stay with you forever. So most of the people, they feel that a habit cannot be reversed. No, don't worry. A habit can be learned and unlearned, about good habits as well as bad habits. So a habit can be learned as well as unlearned. So only thing it needs is what? Discipline, self-discipline, and a systematic approach. For example, it is like a big wire, strands. So many strands are there in a wire. If you see the electric wires, which is there in the service wire on public these poles and all, a big wire is there. On that wire, if you closely observe, there are so many strands are there. So a habit is also like that. It cannot be unlearned overnight or it cannot be learned overnight. Strand by strand, strand by strand, bit by bit, only you can learn and you can unlearn. So for that, what does it need? It requires a systematic, a disciplined approach. Now for this, I give you now a golden principle. Whatever you like, that you feel like doing repeatedly. Now, for example, now let me put it this way. You need to make or you want to make Speaking English a habit. Sir, I want to be a fluent speaker. I need to speak fluently. I want to impress the people. I need to put all my thoughts in a spontaneous way. I want to make speaking English automatic. So in a nutshell, it's what? He has a desire, the person has a desire to speak English fluently, automatically. So without conscious effort. So for that, what should we do? We need to follow a systematic approach. So every day at a particular time, you need to develop the habit of listening. Listening to good interviews, debates, presentations, talk shows. These are the kind of things you need to do at least for 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Then after that, you need to put a challenge to yourself that for another 90 days, from my side, I initiate the conversation in English only. So this is the way you have to take up a challenge. And you need to be adhering to that. You need to be systematic. You need to be disciplined. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. What exactly is happening? We took a decision, but we are not sticking to that particular decision and we are diluting our efforts. Instead of that, if you have the strong desire to be a good speaker in English, you need not join any spoken English or you need not take up the coaching from any trainer. What can you do? You need to be sincere with your own self. For another 90 days, sir, what is this 90 days concept? Nowadays, I have been coming across in YouTube and everywhere, 90 days terminology is being used. Previously, it was 21 days. So the trainers, one trainer, if he initiates a certain thing, and it's like it spreads like a wildfire across the internet. So 21 days forms a habit. If you do a particular thing continuously for 21 days, and it has got a scientific logic and scientific reasoning also behind it. If you do any particular thing for 21 days, it becomes a habit. Good. But if you do a particular thing for 90 full days, if you do it, it is going to become a permanent part of your character. It's going to be indelible. You cannot remove it. So that is that much of potential it has. If you do any particular thing for 90 days, it is going to become part and parcel of your character, your attitude, your behavior. So that's what I am saying. Take up a 90-day challenge. Are you ready? So take up a 90-day challenge and adhere to it. And every day you start speaking English. So I'm not saying you need to speak perfect English. That is the biggest problem most of the people have. Sir, if at all I am perfect, then only I will initiate. Then that is difficult because perfection is not there anywhere. Even in our mother tongue, if you check it up closely, we are making so many mistakes. If you go to a great scholar and if you talk to him in your respective mother tongue, that scholar is going to put his hand on his head. Hey, your language has got so many errors. So that's what a scholar says, because a scholarly approach is different. So that is the reason there is no such thing called perfection. There is no such thing called perfection. So always be focusing on communication. Always be focusing on communication. Just develop this thought around you. The people, whoever are there around you, they do not know your mother tongue. You need to invariably communicate with them only in English. You are in America or you are in some other country. No one knows your mother tongue. So this is the kind of mindset you need to develop. And whoever you speak, initiate your conversation in English only. For that matter, a courier person comes, sir, here is a courier. Initiate your conversation in English only with him. A beggar comes to that extent, I tell you, sir, give me some change. Now, what do you need to do? Hey, come on, I don't have change. Go to next house. Wherever, wherever you go, whoever you come across, you need to initiate conversation from your side in English. And with your family members, of course, don't worry, you can speak in your mother tongue, I don't mind. But the moment you go out and the moment you are interacting with the people in the society, speak only English. Right or wrong, don't worry, it becomes a habit. Now, for habit, I am going to give you a golden principle. So here is a small diagram you observe. Habit is the intersection of three circles. Here at the center, you can find the intersection of three circles: knowledge, skill, and desire. You need to get the knowledge. Every day you keep on upgrading your knowledge. Then what to, why to. So this is knowledge, what to speak, why to speak. And then skill you will get how to speak. Skill is something which you are getting perfection. Then you need to have a strong desire. You need to have a strong desire. Then intersection of these three circles is the habit. So start speaking, it becomes a habit. So your habits can be learned or unlearned. Now let me put a small poll. So I want to know your answers. Let me see. 1 minute. I put you here on small poll for you. So yesterday someone asked me, sir, why don't you teach in Telugu? The very purpose of this program, it does not get served if I do that. So the objective of this program is what? The objective of this program is to give you confidence and to motivate you and to inspire you. So towards that now I am checking how far you got inspired. Let me see. Now here is a poll. Now I take up 90-day challenge. So now let me see how many of you are responding. Good. So far 18 people, 27 people, 31 people, 36 people, 37, 38, 40 people responded. Great, great, great. 40 people, then 41, 42. Now in another couple of seconds, I am going to end this particular poll. So the people who haven't yet participated in the poll, only now 44 is the number of people who took part in this poll. Now I am ending this poll. So someone has responded in the chat box. Anand, AM. Anand, take part in the poll. So your count will be there. Right. Now 45 people out of 51, 45 people took part in the poll. Now I am ending. Now you will be getting surprised by looking at this particular result. So 45 people out of 45 people, they took a decision to be great speakers. They took a decision to take up this particular challenge. So now I want to listen to your experiences. So on a weekly basis. So tomorrow also you can share your experiences. Sir, I took up the challenge of this particular 90-day challenge and I decided to be a great speaker. And from my, what is this 90 days challenge? Very simple. You are speaking English. That's it. Whether it is right or wrong, do not worry. Whether you are speaking perfect English or not, don't worry. Whether you have got acquired, whether you have acquired perfect grammatical rules or not, forget it. Don't worry. Start speaking. That's it. Once you start speaking, things are going to happen. So, my dear friends, with this boosting, with this energy, with this new confidence, let's call it a day. Let's reassemble again tomorrow.